course, this is Ling at Business Soul Work, and welcome to the third installment of the Content Marketing in Plain English webinar series. This is in this installment, the third installment, we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of blogging for business. This is the survival guide, and we're going to talk about some common mistakes that people make when they're blogging for their business, and also some smart strategies that you can implement right away. Of course, it is all based on the idea of honest marketing and doing good work with a side of soul. So we're not just going to get you out there and blindly implementing things that people say you should do, but definitely helping you really use blogging and content marketing in general as a way to express yourself through the lens of your business. Hey, Louisa, how are you? Good to have you here. Lovely. So, if you haven't already, I would love for you, and I would definitely urge you to go back and watch the first two webinars in this series. In the first one, we review the four stages of inbound marketing process and use it as a framework for designing a content experience to get the biggest bang for your bucks. And in the second one, we look at how to amplify your voice, define your writing style, and make your audience dig your stuff by mapping what makes you to the four essential content marketing best practices. The link to the replays is in a couple of the reminder emails that you have received. But if you sign up today and you haven't seen any of those, I'm going to send it out right after this webinar to the replay page with all the links, so including replay for this webinar as well as previous ones. So like I said, today we're going to dig into some pretty nuts and bolts stuff. We'll start with 7 common blogging mistakes that I see many people make, and I'll show you how to fix them. Then we're going to look at 7 smart blogging strategies tailored to the business model needs and constraints for coaches, consultants, service professionals, and small businesses. Now make sure that we're not just talking about stuff that sounds good, like it sounds smart, right, on paper, but come up short when it comes to the feasibility of implementation. Unlike what you may have read in a lot of those digital marketing blogs, we are going beyond those arbitrary rules and the mechanical executions. As always, we approach content marketing through the lens of honest marketing and doing good work. It is about expressing your message, conviction, creativity, and individuality through the lens of your business. So now I'm going to go to the screen share and pull up the slides. So bear with me for a moment while I find those buttons and push the buttons. There we go. And again, if you just join us, please do hop on the chat, introduce yourself, and let me know where you're coming from. If there's anything specific that you would like to hear in this webinar. So, okay, what's happening? The screen is jumping. All right. There, welcome to the webinar. Okay, let's get started. So before we do, I want to take just a couple of minutes to introduce myself really quickly in case this is the first time you met me. So I am Ling Wong, obviously, intuitive brainiac, creativity mentor, and copywriting alchemist. Author of Copywriting Alchemy, Secrets to Turning a Powerful Personal Brand into Content That Sells. Through my unique blend of marketing coaching, content experience design, and copywriting process, I help the mavericpreneurs uncover, articulate, and transform their why into content that connects, resonates, and converts by way of an intuitive yet rigorous iterative process born out of my Harvard Design School training and almost 15 years of experience in the online marketing industry. I'm inbound marketing, content marketing, and email marketing certified. through my writing engagements with the various SaaS and marketing companies with the goals of driving organic traffic, building readership, and increasing conversion. I'm well versed in topics including online marketing, content marketing, e-commerce, conversion, user experience, design, social media marketing, and more. But what do I really do with all these best practice and knowledge and stuff that's going on in my head? My passion is really about helping coaches, consultants, service professionals, solopreneurs, and small businesses apply these best practices to their specific business models and circumstances to create dramatic results. I fell in love with content marketing and copywriting because it allows my most important value, creativity, originality, and individuality, to be expressed in an intellectually rigorous way. When I work with clients, it's not just about them paying me a few bucks and cough up some words. It's a co-creative process with my clarity coaching baked into the process. It's immensely gratifying to see that confidence and motivation when my clients can finally find the words to express their values, convictions, and expertise in a way that feel good to them. So while I'm not typing at 80 miles per hour, I love road cycling. I have OCD, obsessive climbing disorder, and I'm also a runner and chocoholic. So that's me. And without further ado, we will get down to business and look at the 7 common blogging mistakes I see many people make. Mistake number 1 is being stuck in the mechanical execution. And this is like my biggest pet peeve. If you see blogging as a thing to check off your marketing to-do list, if your writing process is just about going through the motion, if you try to squeeze yourself into a mold just because that's how it's done, you might as well stop writing right now. Your content is going to be mediocre at best. If your heart and soul is not in your content, it's not going to create the connection and resonance that will attract the right clients to your business. So put the shoot aside. There's no shoot in my world. Forget the keywords, opt-in, calls to action, headlines, click-through, SEO, and all that man-made rules just for the moment. I'm not saying they're not important, but forget about them for now. And just ask, what matters to you as an individual and a human being? Creating content should be an experience. Okay, I used the should word. It could be an experience for you to connect with what's important to you. It's your stage to get your voice and your conviction expressed. You need to be motivated by getting your message shared with your audience. You need 120% conviction in the meaning it will create and the value it's going to deliver to them. That's the motivation to get you over the hump and infuse meaning into your content creation activities. Yeah, there is a hump. It's not always easy, especially initially. There are things to figure out and a groove to get into. That's why it's so important to identify what drives you, so you're motivated to stick with it until it becomes a practice. And yes, it is a practice. Expressing yourself is I would say, an art form. There's no magic bullet. You have to keep doing it to make it a habit and to get good at it. Another mistake along the line of execution is that so many people equate content with text. Written text, words. So like content marketing equals blogging. It's true. I mean, I love blogging and I love writing. And, as you can see, the title of this is blogging. And that's how I get you guys to sign up. But it's true only to the extent that the current technology behind search engine optimization is still very text-based. For example, search engines cannot read words on a graphic. However, content can be delivered in a variety of medium. For example, graphics, audio, videos, etc. So the key is to find the execution that suits you, your materials, and your audience. If you haven't already, watch webinar number 2, during which I talked about finding your groove by identifying the format that works for you. Then, Only then afterwards, you can figure out the SEO stuff so search engine can interpret your content. And there are, ways and workarounds to do that. Mistake number 2 is giving up too soon. Content marketing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It is a long game. You can't post 3 articles on your blog and then whine about, nobody's reading your stuff or commenting or sharing. The most successful content marketers have been going at it for years, putting out high quality content that is relevant and valuable to a targeted audience frequently and consistently for several years before they become that overnight success. Once your momentum picks up, so will your return on investment. Like I said, content marketing is a practice. You need to get focused. So invest time and energy to produce quality content that's valuable and relevant to a specific audience. Show up frequently and consistently. If you don't show up for your peeps, how can you expect them to show up for you? Identify 1 or 2 formats and channels that cater to your ideal audience. Highlight your strengths and also work well for your subject matter of expertise. And then guess what? Get really good at it. That means execution. You won't know if anything is going to work if you just sit on your bum and read about it. You have to dig in and work it. Don't spread yourself too thin by trying to do everything just because everyone else is doing it. And then you got to be relentless. Make it a non-negotiable part of your marketing plan and your schedule for the week to produce and promote your content through these platforms and channels. Mistake number 3 is if you build it, they won't come. Having a website with a blog doesn't mean your ideal audience will know about it. Get this. 2.7 million blog posts are published every day. 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. So you get the idea. The most successful content marketers spend 20% of their time in content production and 80% in content promotion. If you don't put in the consistent effort to get your content in front of the right people, it's not going to do anything for you. If you just throw spaghetti on the wall and hoping something will stick without paying attention to data and metrics and inform you what works and what doesn't, you're not going to get the most out of your content marketing. Now, a successful US merchant, John Wanamaker, he said that. Half the money I spent on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. Here's the good news. Inbound and content marketing best practices are data-driven. If you analyze your metrics, you'll know what promotion strategies work and you can do more of it. You have to put in the work to attract an audience. Because none of us are entitled to an audience. We have to work to earn their trust and respect. You probably don't have a load of time to spend on promoting your content everywhere, nor do you have a team dedicated to that effort. That's why it's critical that you not only know where your audience hangs out, but also be able to write headlines and descriptions that speak to them and make them want to read or listen or watch your content. In most cases, that means them clicking through. Identify a few places you can focus your promotional efforts and resources, then test and track your results so you can make adjustment to your tactics. Mistake number 4 is getting stuck in your own bubble. Just posting on your blog and trying to get people there can be an uphill battle, especially if you're working on getting traffic, you don't have a big list or the SEO juice of an established site. Remember, if nobody consumes your content isn't doing anything for you. So venture out into the big wide world. Publish your content in places where your ideal audience already goes. Guest posting is a great way to get in front of a new audience. Make sure to identify blogs that share a similar audience, so when you link back to your site or promote your lead magnet, you're building a high-quality audience in the process. If you're interested, here's a resource for you to check out. In this concise guide to blogging for business growth, I go through the nuts and bolts of blogging and guest posting, including things like the anatomy of a killer blog post and the email template to approach websites to pitch your articles. Now, you may need to start small and work your way up to the bigger sites. So, maybe the first time around, you're not going to BAM and be on HuffPost, right? But you got to start somewhere. Don't doubt yourself, but don't take yeses for granted. Appropriating or republishing your content. It is a big question, right? Some people say don't do it, and some people say do it, and some people have all these things about Google will be penalizing you. So here's my take on it. Appropriating or republishing your content on platforms such as Medium or LinkedIn Post, I believe, is another good way to make your content go further, to get you in front of the right people, to come across audience that would normally won't come across your content at all. There are some nuances to making sure that content on these platforms doesn't cannibalize the SEO juice of the original content on your website. So there are things that you can do. For example, changing the title, writing a different intro, or in some cases you can apply a canonical tag or using the import function on Medium to let the search engine know that it is appropriative. It is so it's kind of like you're the original author. You're not plagiarizing. So there are definitely some trade-offs, and you need to assess where you are at with your content marketing and what you want it to do for your business. For example, if you want to get as many eyeballs on your content as possible, it may be worth it to republish the content on popular platforms, even if those posts would rank higher than the original post on your website. You are still getting the eyeballs, right? All right. And moving on, we are on to mistake number 5. This mistake is what I call the wall of text and other formatting or navel-gazing mistakes. And this is about user experience and readability. The point of content marketing is to get people to consume your content so you can achieve whatever goals or next steps you want the readers to take. If you serve up a wall of text riddled with jargons or run-on sentences and zero consideration for readability, you are losing your readers at hello. Your content needs to be written with your audience in mind. It's not a self-gratuitous exercise of showing off your knowledge or relieving your fears and insecurity. While your content needs to express who you are, your values, convictions, points of view, and expertise, etc., it also needs to take user experience into consideration. Formatting your content properly will encourage readers to stay on the page and keep reading. Writing in short sentences and avoiding long paragraphs can increase readability and the likelihood that your content will be consumed. While I'm adamantly against listicle that has no depth, it doesn't mean you can use numbering to help get clarity and hierarchy to your content. On the side note, it is also a great way to help you put a framework around your thoughts and organize your ideas. Dividing up your articles into sections and delineating them using subheads can vastly improve the readability. The use of header tags, for example, H1 and H2, is also an SEO best practice that helps improve your ranking. Of course, that means using some important keywords or key phrases in those header tags and subheader tags. Good communication skills make you more convincing. It's a muscle you can train, and it gets easier. Poor organization and spelling or grammatical errors are distracting. they're distracting for your readers. So no matter how good your thoughts are, if they're not communicated with care, it will undermine your authority and your credibility, doing more harm than good. Mistake number 6, and what I call the either or mentality about rules. Many people I talk to find content marketing challenging because they perceive the many rules as restrictive to the act of self-expression. They have taken programs and trainings. They know the drill. They simply haven't found their fullest expression while leveraging this proven methodology for both self-expression and business success. The rules are there for a reason, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel every turn. If you want to use your content to reach a bigger audience, generate leads, and convert clients, and you don't want to sound like a formulaic, slimy internet marketer, listen up. To start, you don't fight the rules. You've got to learn them before you break them. I don't mean the superficial how-tos. Those are the trained monkey level, the mindless implementation that turns out regurgitated copy that makes people appear slimy. I'm referring to the underlying reasons that behind those tactics that inform your decisions. The principles that guide the rules, they are sound. The perceived restriction comes from the what I call the codification of those rules, the dilution as a result of intellectual laziness, and the perception that if you don't paint by numbers, you're screwed. Well, that thanks to a whole lot of regurgitated sales copy. Content marketing is often a balancing act of discernment. Discern what's needed at the specific stage of your business, what's in alignment with your message, and what's meaningful for you and your audience. Challenge the many rules that make it sound like we have to sacrifice how we truly want to communicate, just so we can check some arbitrary metrics off the list. What's the point of having your cake if you can't eat it too? So I want to share a few ways to balance priorities that seem to oppose each other at first glance, and help you find that deeper layer, which the either or becomes both and. Number 1 is human versus SEO. So let's face it, many of us have a dysfunctional relationship with SEO. Some of us are turned off by the black hat SEO tricks. Some of us got scared away by the word algorithm. Some of us got discouraged by the ever-shifting rules that kick us off balance the moment we thought we got it. Thankfully, as search engine algorithm evolves, reader-friendly content is now getting the brownie points. The ultimate goal of publishing content is to get it consumed by the right audience so they'll take the next step with you. It's no longer enough to use some SEO tricks to get people to click through if your content is not valuable and relevant for the target audience. In fact, they'll leave your site quickly, and the low dwell time will tank your ranking. So first and foremost, write for human beings, not Google. Remember, the goal of content marketing is to build trust and relationship with your audience so they will eventually convert. Yet, if you want to get people to read your stuff, you do need to pay attention to SEO, so you put yourself in front of the right audience. So it's not like, oh, screw SEO, right? There are SEO best practices that you need to understand. And that means you understand what drives SEO. Good news is, like I said, as search engines get smarter, content that is relevant, valuable, and user-friendly, that is designed for human being consumption, they rank higher. Relevant and valuable content crafted with an understanding of how search engines work will give you the best of both worlds. Next is conversational versus authoritative tone. Your tone and voice are the secret sauce to making you relatable to your audience. You want your content to build trust and relationship with your readers, so being conversational absolutely makes sense. However, part of the trust factor also comes from positioning yourself as the authority. or an authority. That means you need to be friendly and authoritative at the same time. Okay, it's not as contradictory or tricky as it sounds. Credibility doesn't come from puffing up and using big words. Authority stems from a subtle and natural confidence in your tone when you can articulate what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. You can inspire credibility without puffing up to sound authoritative. Your authority comes from a deep level of trust, not from using stiff language or jargons. You can also, what I call, borrow authority from trusted sources in your area of expertise. This can help anchor your approach in what your audience already knows as a starting point to take them through your narrative. You can step down from the pedestal and still be considered credible. You can build a trusting relationship with your audience by being conversational in your content. Everyone is talking about building relationship with the audience. So I want to dig deeper. What is your relationship with your audience? How do you want to relate to them? Who do you want to be for them? For example, are you a big sister who's just a few steps ahead and always looking out for them? A welcoming aunt who's always there with a nice cup of tea and a good story to tell? Or maybe a fellow warrior who is in the trenches and ready to give a hand? This specific relationship determines what type of conversational tone you would apply to your content, instead of just throwing around some random slangs. You can't be someone you are not, so map who you want to be for your audience to an audience looking for that kind of relationship in their quest for transformation. The next is quality versus frequency. Now, without unlimited resources, quality versus quantity seems to be an inevitable trade-off. The important thing is to find your groove by establishing a rhythm that allows you to do good work while also consistently showing up in front of your audience. If you don't produce good quality content that adds value to the conversation, you won't be able to cut through the clutter and demonstrate your relevance to your audience. At the same time, if you don't show up consistently, you aren't building the necessary connection with your audience. Most content creators with a big audience will tell you that showing up consistently is one of the most important things that contribute to their success. To add to that, I'd say show up consistently with meaningful work is critical. Showing up means getting in front of your audience. There's no point posting an article a day if you don't promote your content to those you want to reach. Let's change the conversation from either or to both ends. You don't have to write a post a day. Just don't go a month without creating any content, without showing up. Consistently doesn't have to equate annoyingly frequently. Instead of one mediocre post a day, why not create one quality post a week, one that you'll be proud to promote, or even start with one every 2 weeks? And you don't have to write. Writing is not your thing. You try video, you try audio. Maybe you do a podcast. You have to find your groove and hone your skills. Find out what works for you and what works for your audience. Probably they don't want to be reading a 1,500-word article from you every single day either. There's no substitute to actually taking action if you want to get good at it, right? Think about all the books and all the other talking about it. Turning Pro, Steve Pressfield, Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell, and the likes. And last but not least, we talk about succinctness versus word count. Your content has to get to the point and get the point through without making your readers go around in circles. There's a difference between sharing in-depth content and adding value to the conversation versus stuffing your post with words out of fears of not looking like an expert. If you're just coughing up words without adding value, you're wasting your readers' time and energy. Keep doing that and you'll lose your readers altogether. Seth Godin published a pithy 200-word post almost every single day, and every single word is gold. On the other hand, most of us probably need more runways to elaborate our point of view and unique approaches. Here's a general rule of thumb as a reference point. Articles with a word count around 1,500 words tend to do well with SEO. If it's good content and visitors stay on to read your article, you score SEO points for good dwell time. Dwell time, again, is the duration visitors stay on your page to consume the content. While I write for clients, the sweet spot is typically around 1,000 to 1,500 words. It gives us a space to set up the conversation and share some in-depth information so my client's unique perspective come through and position them as a credible expert while still succinct enough to be consumed relatively quickly. When you present information that your audience can't get anywhere else because it highlights your unique approach and speaks to their unique worldview and circumstances, it becomes a reflection of your expertise in the subject matter, because there's no way you can just like go and make something up, right? And talk about it for like 1,500 words, I mean, without having done it for a while. This solidifies your credibility and expert positioning. Don't make things up just to hit the word count. You need to test and see what works best for you and your audience. So I mentioned SEO quite a bit. If you want to dig into the topic, here's an article that shows how to create SEO-friendly content without losing your sanity. So the URL is business-soulwork.com/SEO-copywriting. Mistake number 7. I can't count. I said number 6 here. Oops. Poor user experience design. Earlier, we talked about some user experience issues in formatting a page. Now we zoom out and look at it from the user flow perspective. Your blog post is hopefully one page among the many touch points you have with your audience. How do they get to your article? Where are you sending them afterwards? If you're sending them to your blog via social media, are you creating a cohesive experience with copy and images? When you pick their interest with a promise, is your article fulfilling it? Right? Some people write really clickbaity headlines, and then when people click to the blog post, it's a completely different things, and people just get, click away and never come back again. If you have a call to action on your post, is it coherent with the content and adding value to the conversation? When your readers click on the call to action, are you taking them to a page that has a consistent tone and feel to it? Don't make your visitors jump through unnecessary hoops. You're designing an experience for your audience to get to know you better. So at the end of the interaction, they'll have built up the trust to take the next step with you. A jagged, inconsistent experience erodes trust, and that's the last thing you want to happen. Okay, so we just gone through the 7 blogging mistakes, so I want to check in and see how everybody's doing. So let me know on the chat if everything is good, or if you have any questions for me. How's the content treating you so far? Right. I know there's a delay, so while you guys respond to me, I'm going to keep going. Next, we talk about the 7 essential blogging strategy for coaches, consultants, solopreneurs, service professionals, and small businesses. Hey, Matthew, thank you. I am glad to hear that you enjoy the content. Okay. So moving on is strategy number 1, make your content audience-centric. Many small business owners make the mistake of jumping right into talking about their products and services when they write a blog post. The cold hard truth is that nobody cares unless they find your content relevant. If nobody is reading your articles, you're not getting any ROI, i.e., that is return on investment from your content marketing. And who determines whether or not you're relevant? Ta-da, you're right, your audience. From your title to the intro all the way through to the meat and your call to action, you need to put the needs and wants of your target audience front and center. What are the search terms they use to find the products and services in your industry? What's the title that they will be in, and what are the titles that they will be enticed to click through? How do they describe their problems and challenges? How do they communicate their frustrations? How do they talk about what they want? What do they think? How does that make them act? And what emotions does that action trigger? You need to consider all these questions. You also need to understand how knowledgeable your ideal audience is in that subject matter. If you are addressing beginners or those who have low awareness about the topic, you may need to create educational content to help them understand why your products or services are relevant to them. If you are targeting an audience with a deeper knowledge of the subject matter, you may need to dive right in and skip the basics. If you spend a lot of time sort of setting the stage, they may assume your content is too basic for them, click away and never come back. Strategy number 2 is selecting an engaging topic. Let's say you're a drywall installer. You probably run out of ideas very quickly if you just write about drywall every week. Plus, 99% of your readers don't care about how different kinds of drywall work. For them, installing drywall is a means to an end, building their dream house, expanding their office, etc. It's more likely that they will be interested in articles on topics such as home renovation or tips to find a contractor. To make sure your content is getting read, you need to find a topic that not only relates to your products and services, but also is helpful to your audience, get good SEO ranking, and most importantly, engages your readers. Next, you need to consider the distribution and promotion of your content. For example, topics that do well on Medium are quite different from those that get good response on LinkedIn. Consider how you reach your target audience and take the platform into consideration to decide on your topic. Strategy number 3, build trust and relationship. Emotions, trust, and relationships are determining factors when people make their purchasing decisions. If you're a coach or consultant, a large part of your potential client's decision-making process is based on trust. For small businesses, competing on price and features alone often put you at a disadvantage. Well-crafted content helps you put a face and personality to your products or services so you can relate to your potential clients on a personal and emotional level. Instead of rushing into selling, focus on using content to build trust, credibility, resonance, and relationships with your readers, with your audience. Make sure you have a distinct writing voice to reflect a personality that your readers can relate to and resonate with. It helps you cut through the clutter and makes you memorable. And speaking of writing voice, if you haven't already, please do go back to webinar number 2, in which I really dug into how to find your writing voice. When you put in the work to cultivate relationship with your readers, you'll stay top of mind, so when they need the products or services you offer, you'll be among the first that they consider. Strategy number 4, continue the conversation. It's likely that many of your readers are at the research or evaluation phase and not ready to make a purchasing decision when they visit your blog. Instead of having them click away and forget about you, gather their contact information so you can stay on top of mind and continue the conversation by sharing future content with the goal of building trust and relationship. Having a good size and responsive email list can give you a consistent stream of potential clients or consistent stream of potential clients or customers. To entice them to join your email list, you probably consider creating a lead magnet to promote on your blog and within the content itself. I've covered what you want to consider when creating a lead magnet in webinar number 2. There are many ways you can capture leads, such as sidebar callout, pop-up, welcome mat, scroll box, all that stuff, depending on your platform and the desired user experience. Some bloggers with more experience and resources also implement content upgrade strategy for high-performing blog posts to accelerate the list growth. If you're just starting out, you can build an audience faster by guest posting on websites with an established readership that overlaps with your target market. On guest post, you can often include a 1 to 2 paragraph author bio at the end of the article, in which you can mention your free gift and include the link to your squeeze page so they can sign up to your list. List building is an ongoing effort, and so is lead nurturing. Your list won't do you any good if you don't communicate with your subscribers. Just sitting on a whole bunch of email addresses is not going to do anything for you. And other than paying your email service provider every month to keep those names, right? Email marketing is not dead. It is a great way to nurture your leads. You can share your latest content with your subscribers, drive more traffic back to your website by having them click through to read the content there. Strategy number 5, understand the basic principles of SEO. So stay with me here. SEO doesn't have to be scary. You don't need to be a whiz in the ever-changing Google algorithm or researching a mile-long long-tail keyword spreadsheet every month to win the organic traffic game. You can go back to the slide, go back to the replay and look up the slide where I have the article on writing SEO-friendly content. But just the gist of it here is that as search engines get smarter, life for content creator with good intention actually get easier. The various factors that contribute to good SEO also makes for good content consumption by human being. So here's the gist. Get for SEO best practice. Gather helpful resources from reputable authority sites to support your content. Provide information that's valuable and relevant to your audience, and write in an engaging style so your readers will spend time reading your articles, bookmark your site, and share your content. And here's the thing, write something you want to read as a reader, as an audience, not what you think Google wants to see. Write in a way that you want to be spoken to, while relating to your readers as an individual, not a faceless logo or brand. Savvy readers are expecting personality, independent voice, and unique points of view from individuals and brands. Accurate content is a given. Engaging content brings audience back to your site by cultivating trust and relationship. People don't just want facts. They want actionable advice based on sound research and interpretation from experts that they trust. When you create engaging and relevant content that people want to read, you'll boost your SEO ranking by increasing dwell time, bookmarking, social share, comments, reduce bounce rate, external links, and more. Strategy number 6 is drive traffic from other blogs or websites. Getting traffic may not be the easiest thing when you're starting out. Nobody knows about your blog and your site doesn't yet have what it needs to rank high in search results. So again, guest posting is the usual suspect and a strategy you can't ignore. Yet it takes time to find the right websites, pitch your ideas, and write up the articles. A quicker way to get your feet wet in the blogosphere is to comment on blogs where your ideal clients visit. Besides getting exposure to your potential audience, you can take this opportunity to build relationships with the site owner. If they accept guest posts, this can increase the chance for your content to get featured. Looking for blogs that cover similar topics as your area of expertise is the obvious starting point, but that's not all. You can think about what other interests and topics your target audience tends to read about, and look up blogs in those areas as well. So for example, if your ideal audience is women who want to feed their family healthy food on a budget, they may also frequent websites like mommy blogs, personal finance sites, recipe sites, cooking blogs, beauty or fashion sites, and other health and wellness resources. There can be a lot of noise in the comments, so don't just writing, oh, thank you for the great post, or nice post, or it's not going to get you very far. Really take a few moments to consider what you can contribute to spark a meaningful discussion or provide value, and demonstrate your thought leadership on the subject matter when you're commenting. When you share insightful comments, some readers may get interested in what you do and want to find out more about you. So here's the thing, they want to find out more about you. Most commenting mechanisms either link to a profile, for example, discuss Livefyre or Facebook comments plugin, or they link to a URL. Make sure your profiles are set up to appeal to your target audience, with a link to sign up for your lead magnet so you can build your list of prospects. Strategy number 7 is, guess what? Distribute your content. We touched upon this earlier, yet this is so critical that I want to give you a few more tips. Most seasoned and successful bloggers would tell you that writing content is just the beginning. 80% of your time and effort needs to be spent on promoting your content to get it in front of the right people. Besides sending out the content to your list, you can also share the link to your blog post on social media, focusing your efforts on platforms that your target audience most frequent. If you have a relationship with bloggers who share a similar audience, you can ask them to share out a particularly relevant or epic post once in a while. You're getting in front of these influencers' audience, and you're leveraging the trust and relationship they have built with their readers. So those readers are more likely to give you a shot. This will help drive traffic back to your website, on which you can set up lead capture mechanism to gather prospect information and to nurture your leads. Again, this is about really get in front of the right people, capture the leads, and then continue the conversation to build trust and relationship. You can also submit a version. Where am I? I lost something from my notes. There you are. Don't be shy about promoting your blog posts multiple times on social media. When you build up a repository of content, you can cycle them through every week or two on Twitter. You can also repost on your Facebook page and LinkedIn profile every month or two. You can submit a version of your post to article sites, for example, e-zine articles, self-growth, etc. Many websites that feature curated content search these article sites for materials. When they publish your article, they're required to include your byline, which of course would have a call to action to get your lead magnet. Moreover, you can repurpose and or share your content on publishing platforms such as LinkedIn Post, Medium, and other syndication sites in your area of expertise. Don't forget to include a byline with a call to action to get your lead magnet. The URL on the screen is an article on how to craft an intriguing bio. The URL is business-soulwork.com/elevator-pitch. Okay, my tongue is all curled up and stuff. Can't talk. Okay. That is my slide. So yes, we have just gone through a whole lot of good stuff today. And I hope you find it helpful. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover in the next installment of the series, please let me know by replying to any of the emails you get regarding this webinar series. So before I wrap this up, I Thank you, Louisa. Excellent points. She says, great content. Thank you. And just want to quickly check in to see if you have any questions for me while I take a sip of tea. Questions, comments, please do share in the chat box. So like I said, there's no pitch fest here. I just want to take a minute or two to share with you a couple of next steps with you if you're ready to get my copywriting fairy dust. So number one is, hello. Why is my thing not flipping? There. The first I want to share is I'm beta testing a new blog writing service, and you can get the details by following the URL on screen. It is business-soulwork.com/blog-writing. Blog writing, pretty self-explanatory. You will be redirected to a listing. It's a really simple setup. You purchase the gig based on your needs, and I'll write the damn thing for you. Simple. So go there, check it out. It's definitely super, it's really reasonable, and you would just get it done. Thank you, Louisa. She says, thank you, Ling, for these great tips. This will help me immensely. I am so glad to hear that. And then the next is just kind of the whole shebang. If you're done chasing your tail on the copywriting hamster wheel, I'm here to write the damn thing for you, whether it is website content, email marketing, your video script, one page out of your website, for example, your about page or offer page or homepage, blog writing, content experience design, you name it, I do it. Okay, that sounds a little bit like jack of all trades, but anything that's pertaining to content strategy or copywriting, please do hit me up, business-soulwork.com/copywriting, or you can just shoot me an email, ling@business-soulwork.com. You can read more about my unique copywriting service with clarity coaching baked in. If you want to learn more, this is a co-creation process, and definitely not, it's not for everybody. So I really look for clients that is very invested in the process and understand that it definitely takes two to tango. So the more involved and determined a client is, the more she would get out of this process. Or if you just want to chat, shoot me an email, ling@business-soulwork.com, and we'll see what makes the most sense for you. We'll design something that meets your needs. I don't squeeze you through my agenda, and I have a very flexible structure when I work with clients. So that's it for the presentation. And here I am again. You see, I'm not here to say goodbye. Just to wrap this up, I hope you enjoy this content today. That's a lot of stuff, and absolutely take the replay link and revisit some of the tactics and strategy when it's the right time for you to implement. I'm planning a fourth installment for this content marketing in plain English webinar series. I want to talk about content experience design, and this is the new approach that I am working on right now and it's been proven very effective for my clients. It is really about not just designing a user experience or content experience that definitely is conversion focused, definitely speak to that ideal audience and target market, but also it is also a process that allows you to experience your business in a very through the words, in a very visceral manner, to get you to get to the point of clarity where you feel so connected with your business, and your content becomes so much more effective because your entire self and your energy is on board. So that's part of it. And I also want to, in that, I want to take you through a very effective process that I take my clients through to, first of all, is to really understand a brand message and brand personality, and then applying it to content marketing best practice, to creating a content strategy that will inform you what to write, what format to create your content in, and where to promote it. So it's a very sort of holistic way of approaching your content. It stems from both what is important for you and how to express yourself, and how to really express your individuality, creativity, originality, your values, and your conviction, while also mapping it to content marketing best practice to give your content the best chance of getting in front of the right people and creating the results that will support your business. So long story short, the details will come to you in the next few weeks, when you have because you most likely sign up for this webinar. If not, you will find a sign up somewhere where you see this video. The thing is, I am going off for a vacation to LA to ride my bike up and down the Malibu canyons, and also the two kids have two different spring break schedule, so I haven't really figured out when exactly this particular webinar is going to happen. Likely it's going to be mid-April when the dust has settled and the kids are all sorted, everything is all sorted. But I will be sending out an email as soon as I have everything figured out. So I hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.